Hello everyone, Happy New Year to everyone out there. Hope everyone had a great New Year's Eve and all the best for 2023. I'm back with more Premiership predictions, more games coming up over the next few days. It's literally been games like since Boxing Day near enough, all the way up until now. And it's great if you love football like me, just lots of football to watch. And as you can see, I am currently away from England at the moment. I am in the Netherlands, currently in Amsterdam for a few days, just a little holiday before I head back to the UK. So first of all, before I get on to this week's games, I'll just do a little recap of last week's games in the Premier League. And there were quite a few shocks actually, weren't there? I didn't get no perfect results right. I got four results right, but none of them were perfect. I think Man City Everton, no one expected that to be a 1-1 draw. Aston Villa went to Tottenham and won 2-0, and Forest and Chelsea had a 1-1 draw as well. So a few shocks that I did not expect. The four I did get right though, with Man U 1, Wolves 0. I went for a 2-0, so I was getting quite close with that one. But of course it could have been 2-0 if Rashford's goal didn't get chalked off for handball. I thought it was a bit harsh, but the main thing, being a Man U fan, is that we got the win in the end, so that's great. And then also I got the Liverpool 2-1. I went for 2-0, so again just one goal in it. Southampton, again just one goal in that one actually as well. I went for 2-0 and it was 2-1. And then the other game was Brighton-Arsenal. I went for Arsenal 2-0 and it was 4-2. So, I got the goal difference plus 2 right. But just Arsenal, had a really good day and scored 4 goals. That was a great result for them. Still top of the table. So, let's get on to this week's games. So the first game for this week's games is Brentford up against Liverpool. Both teams both won in their last game. Brentford went to West Ham and won 2-0, and Liverpool made it 3 wins in a row and closing on the top 4 with a 2-1 win over Leicester. Didn't actually score themselves, because Leicester got 2 own goals, but they got the wins, so I guess that's all that matters really, isn't it? For this game though, I'm going to go for a Brentford 1, Liverpool 2. So the next game is a top of the table clash between Arsenal in first and Newcastle in third. Arsenal currently now have a 7-point lead at the top of the table after Man City dropped points in their last game, and confidence is building now that at Arsenal that the first title since 2004 could be coming home. They're having a great run at the moment, and I'm sure now that they'll think that they could really actually win this title. Still a long way to go yet though, and they got up against a really good Man City team, so it's going to still a lot of work still to do. Up against a Newcastle team that having a really good season, in third at the moment. A bit of a disappointing result in their last game at home to Leeds, 0-0. Very frustrating game probably for them. Just couldn't put their chances away. They created a lot of chances, just couldn't put it away. And it was one of those games. It happens now and then throughout the season. You do get those games. A bit disappointing with that, but they'll move on. Still in good form before that, and they'll still come into this game confident that they get a result. I think this game will be really close. However, though, I think Arsenal might just get the win in this one. I'm going to go with Arsenal 2, Newcastle 1. So the next game is Everton up against Brighton. Everton had a great result in their last game, got a 1-1 draw away to Man City. No one saw that one coming, the way Everton were playing, so they really needed that as well, and quite a bonus point really to get at the Etihad. But they've got to now build on that and try and get a win on the board to get away from that bottom 3, because they're currently only 1 point away from the bottom 3, so they really do need to get some wins on the board soon, or they could get dragged into a relegation dogfight. Up against a Brighton team who are currently in 9th, having a really good season. Had a disappointing result last time out, but up against a really good Arsenal team, so you can't fault them too much for that. For this game though, I've got a feeling Everton really need to win this game, and maybe that result against Man City will put me in a really confident mood that they can get a win here. So I'm going to go with Everton 2, Brighton 1. So the next game is Leicester up against Fulham. Leicester had a 2-1 loss in their last game against Liverpool. A bit of a disappointing result actually, because they went 1-0 up, and then of course they scored 2 own goals to help Liverpool get the win in that game. Up against a Fulham team who are in great form at the moment, having a great season, currently in 7th, and had a 2-1 win over Southampton in their last game. And the way things are going, if they keep this up, they got a great chance to get into Europe, which would be a great achievement for a team that's just got promoted. So really good for Fulham this season. For this game though, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for Leicester 2, Fulham 2. So as you can see, I have moved outside to a very famous stadium in Holland, and even the world as well, I would say. And that's the Ajax Stadium, named after the famous player of theirs, and that's John Cruyff. You can see a picture of him behind me. And it's a pretty nice stadium from the outside, looks pretty nice, and maybe hopefully one day I'll be able to go inside and watch a game. Maybe that's something on the bucket list that I can do in the future. And it actually links in with quite the next game quite well actually, because it's Manchester United against Bournemouth, and of course Manchester United have a few links with this team, of course, because we've bought a few players from them in the past few years, Van der Beek, Antony and Martinez, and of course the manager as well, Ten Hag, has come from Ajax as well, and vice versa actually. Daley Blind went from Manchester United to Ajax, so there's it links in quite well for the next game. So Manchester United versus Bournemouth, and great win in our last game against Wolves, and it was actually a great overall week actually for Manchester United, because a lot of teams around us dropped points. Tottenham dropped points, Newcastle also dropped points, and also Man City as well. We're not too far away from them. And then Chelsea as well, who are a bit adrift at the moment from us, but still a team that you expect to be up there, challenge us for the top 4 this season. So a great week, and hopefully we can start 2023 as we ended it. I think the team pretty much probably picks itself at the moment. I think the only change that he might make against Bournemouth will be Marcus Rashford will probably come in. He got his punishment. It was a drop for being late, of course, but came back now into the team and scored the goal, of course, that won us the game. I'm sure now that's all forgotten. I'm sure hopefully he's learned from that mistake and it won't happen again. And I think he'll come back in probably for Garnacho, but also it could be Antony maybe, just because of Antony's not been in great form of late, so it wouldn't be surprised if it was Antony, but I think it'll be Garnacho. And then the only other change that he might make is maybe Martinez might come back in for Luke Shaw, but I'm not sure if Martinez is ready to start the game yet, after being away for a few weeks, of course, with the World Cup and partying, of course. So I'm not sure whether he'll be match fit maybe to start the game. So he probably will be Luke Shaw and Varane, who have done really well in the last couple of games. I think Delo's back in training, so he might come back in, but maybe just on the bench, because Wan-Bissaka has done well as well in the last couple of games. Bournemouth, they've lost their last game 2-0 to Palace, and a game actually described by the manager as one of the worst performances of the team for the team this season. So on a selfish point of view, I hope that continues in this game and they can have another bad performance and Manchester United can get the win. So my score prediction for this one, I'm going to go with a Manchester United win. I'm going to go for a quite comfortable win as well actually. I'm going to go with a Manchester United 3, Bournemouth 0. So next up is a Midlands derby between Aston Villa and Wolves. Aston Villa had a great result last week away to Tottenham. It's a great result for them. Puts them in 13th in the table currently, and I'm sure now with a new manager, of course, he's had a few games there now, and they started to pick up some good results of late. before the World Cup and then also after as well. So yeah, I'm sure Villa this season will be fine, and then they'll start to get up the higher up the table. They could even get top 10, I think, this season. For Wolves, you know, they obviously had a defeat against my team, Manchester United, last week, but of course got the win against Everton the week before. Still in the bottom three, but you see improvements now with the new manager in there. So I think they've got you know, something to go for this season. I think they've got a good chance maybe of staying up. Maybe have to buy a few more players. Maybe I think they are lacking maybe in the striking department. So yeah, I think it's still going to be a tough ask for them to stay up. But I think with a new manager now, they've got a better chance. For this game though, I'm going to go for Aston Villa 1, Wolves 0. So the next game is Crystal Palace against Tottenham. Crystal Palace had a good result last week in their game against Bournemouth, a 2-0 win, which puts them 11th in the table. For Tottenham though, they had a very disappointing home defeat to Aston Villa, which means now they are out of the top 4. And I'm not really surprised actually, because even the games where they were picking up points, they weren't really playing that well, you know. So you know, sooner or later, as I said, you know, in other videos, you know, they were going to not be able to do that, you know, all the time. And you know, it showed in that Villa game. You know, they didn't really play well at all, and Villa deserved to win in that game. So yeah, disappointing for Tottenham, and they'll be they need to bounce back now, because you know, all the teams now you know, are starting to catch up on them, and you know, there's a big chance that they might not even get top 4 if they keep up this form. For this game, I think it will be Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 1. So the next game is Leeds against West Ham. Leeds got a great draw last week in their game against Newcastle, a very hard-fought 0-0 draw away to Newcastle, which you know is a decent result the way Newcastle were playing this season. For West Ham though, they're in really bad form, lost their last 4 games, and the pressure is mounting on David Moyes, and they need to start to pick up some points very soon. They're just outside the bottom 3, so yeah, they really need to pick up some points soon, or they could be into that dogfight relegation zone. For this game, I've got a feeling there might be quite a lot of goals. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for Leeds 3, West Ham 3. So the next game is 2 teams that are in the bottom 3. That's Southampton, who are in 20th, and Nottingham Forest, who are in 18th. Southampton had another defeat last week at Fulham, not in great form at all for Southampton. But for Forest though, even though they are still in the bottom 3, it was a very good point at home to Chelsea last week. This one's a tough one to call actually, you know, both teams in the bottom 3, and I think they're both going to be down there for probably most of this season, and probably have a good chance of both teams could go down this season. I'm going to go with Forest winning this one though. I know they're away from home, and they haven't won away from home this season, but I've got a feeling they might win this game, because Southampton are not in great form at all. So yeah, I'm going to go for Southampton 1, Nottingham Forest 2. So the last game for this game week is Chelsea up against Manchester City. Chelsea are starting to get cut adrift now of that top 4. Another game where they dropped points in their last game against Forest, and yeah, they really need to start to pick up some points very soon. Otherwise, that top 4 is going to be really hard for them to get this season. For Manchester City, currently in 2nd, 7 points behind Arsenal, but a very disappointing result in their last game, 1-1 against Everton. However, though, you know, normally, you know, champions, especially like City, you know, don't normally, you know, have 2 games where they drop points. So I expect them to actually come back here and get the win. I'm going to go with Chelsea 1, Manchester City 3. So that's all the predictions for this game week. Hopefully it's another week of lots of goals and lots of good football to watch. Most importantly, hopefully Manchester United get another 3 points, which will be a great way to start 2023 for us. But yeah, in the meantime, hope everyone has a great day. I am currently under shelter, as you can see. It's yeah, just started to rain here in Holland, so I'm going to probably stay under here until it starts to yeah, clear away. Hopefully it will do very soon, because I've got a bit of a walk back to my hotel. But in the meantime, guys, everyone have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.